Dear students, welcome to Biology. In today's class, we are discussing the questions from the second unit asked in the year 2020. The second year also, we can see 8 questions were there. The second unit in the first year consists of 3 chapters: morphology of flowering plants, anatomy of flowering plants, and structural organization. From these 3 chapters, there were 8 questions. Okay. Now we can see one by one. The first question, the morphology of flowering plants. 3 questions were there. Out of the 3 questions, the first question, the roots that originate from the base of the stem. It's a direct question. Prop root, lateral root, fibrous root, primary root. You can see a root is developing from an embryonic body. An embryonic body has 2 regions. 2 meristematic regions are there, embryonic body. One is called radicle and the other one is called plumule. This is plumule and this is radicle. Plumule become the shoot system, radicle become the root system. Suppose the radicle is developing directly into a root. The radicle is developing into a root. The root is called tap root. The tap root is developing from the radicle. Tap root is developing from radicle. The tap root is otherwise called primary root. So primary root is a tap root. So here the plumule become the shoot system. The plumule become the shoot system. Suppose in the case of monocot plants, the radicle or the primary root is short-living. So from the base of the stem, large numbers of roots are developing. The large numbers of roots developing in the monocot plants from the base of the stem are called fibrous roots. Fibrous roots. So what are lateral roots? When this is a tap root, you can see some branches were developing from the tap root in order for anchorage, fixing the plant in the soil, and these were called lateral roots. Prop root is a modification. The prop root is otherwise called pillar root, as in the case of banyan trees. So here the answer is fibrous root. The roots that originated from the base of the stem are called fibrous roots. And fibrous roots are characteristic of which plants? They are characteristic of monocot plants. Okay. The second question from morphology of flowering plants. The ray florets are having hypogynous ovary, half inferior ovary, superior ovary. Ray florets and disc florets are units of or different types of flowers in a sunflower. So here ray florets, the ray floret is having a peculiar type of ovary. Actually, in the case of flowers, there can be 3 types of ovary. The ovary may be superior, ovary may be inferior, the ovary may be half superior or half inferior. So what is meant by superior, inferior and half inferior ovary? We can see. So this is the thalamus. This is the thalamus. And this is the ovary. So when other whorls like calyx, corolla and androecium, this is calyx, corolla, androecium, are developing from the base portion and the ovary is superior. So that kind of flower is called hypogynous. It is called hypogynous. So in the case of hypogynous flowers, the calyx, corolla and androecium were located at a lower position than ovary. That means ovary is superior. In the case of when the thalamus is cup-shaped, this will be the ovary. And this will be the position of calyx, corolla and androecium. That means the ovary is situated deep. So that is called inferior ovary. This is superior ovary and this is inferior ovary. That kind of flower is called epigynous. Epigynous. Epi means upper. Calyx, corolla and androecium are upper to gynoecium. So that is called epigynous. The first case, calyx, corolla, androecium are lower, hypo to gynoecium. So they were called hypogynous. So when the shape of the thalamus is like this, thalamus is a shallow cup and not fused with the ovary wall. This is the position of ovary. The calyx, corolla and rhizome will be from these points. So they are peripheral to ovary. So that is called perigynous. They are peripheral to gynoecium. So that condition is called perigynous. So in the case of perigynous, the ovary is considered to be half superior or half inferior. Understood? So depending upon the shape of the thalamus, arrangement of the ovary in relation to other words, there can be three types of flowers: hypogynous, epigynous and perigynous. Okay. In the case of hypogynous flower, there is superior ovary, epigynous flower, inferior ovary, and perigynous flower, half superior or half inferior ovary. Okay. So here, hypogynous ovary. Hypogynous is a term that is referring to flower, not to ovary. Ovary can be referred by the term superior, inferior or half inferior. Actually, ray floret are epigynous in nature. That means the ovary is inferior. Ovary is inferior. Okay. In the case of ray florets of sunflower, the ovary is inferior. So the flower can be considered to be epigynous. Okay. This is the third question from morphology. The ovary is half inferior in. Half inferior ovary means the thalamus is a shallow cup like this, and this is the shape of the ovary, and this is from the calyx, corolla and rhizome were there. So this is a location of calyx, corolla and rhizome. So the half of the ovary is superior, half of the ovary is inferior. So it is perigynous. Only in perigynous flowers the ovary is half superior or a half inferior. Okay. So that is present in plum, rose and peach. So plum is the answer. Okay. In the case of sunflower, the ray floret, we already studied that the ovary is inferior. In the case of brinjal and mustard, the ovary is considered to be superior. Okay. So the answer is plum. In the case of plum, rose, peach, etc., the ovary is half superior or a half inferior. From the anatomy topic, only two questions were there in 2020. The first question: the transverse section of a plant shows following anatomical features. Large number of scattered vascular bundle. Scattered vascular bundle is present only in monocot stem. In all other cases, that means the dicot stem, dicot root, monocot stem, monocot root, the scattered vascular bundle is present only in monocot stem. That means in the case of dicot stem, dicot root, monocot root. You have to remember like this. In these three cases, dicot stem, dicot root, monocot root, the anatomy shows two regions. The central region is called stele. The peripheral region is called extrastele. Stele is a vascular cylinder where the vascular bundles are arranged. But in the case of monocot stem, only, there is no stele, extrastele regions. The vascular bundles are scattered. So by this single term, we can arrive at the answer. They are monocot stem. In the case of dicot stem, dicot root, monocot root, you can see the xylem, the phloem, the vascular bundles are present only inside the stele. The stellar, extrastellar differentiation is present in dicot stem, dicot root and monocot root. Only in monocot stem, the vascular bundles are scattered. There is no specific stellar region. Then, in the case of monocot stem, suppose this is a vascular bundle. The vascular bundle is surrounded by a bundle sheath, a sclerenchymatous bundle sheath is present. That is also a characteristic feature of monocot stem. Only in monocot stem, the bundle sheath is present. In the case of dicot stem, you can see that a bundle cap is there, not a bundle sheath. The large conspicuous parenchymatous ground tissue, since there is no stellar region, pericycle, nothing is there, the ground tissue is a large one. That's also applicable to monocot stem. Then vascular bundles are conjoined and closed. What is meant by conjoined vascular bundle? Conjoined vascular bundle means, in the case of vascular bundle, the phloem and xylem are present. When xylem and phloem are seen together in a joined manner, it is called a conjoined vascular bundle. Conjoined vascular bundle is present in dicot stem and monocot stem. In stem, conjoined vascular bundle is there. In dicot root and monocot root, the xylem and phloem are separate in different radii. That condition is called a radial vascular bundle. Okay. So radial in root, conjoined in stem. Then, why they are called closed? There is no cambium. In between xylem and phloem, in the case of dicot stem, there is a strip of meristematic tissue that is called cambium. The cambium is absent in monocot stem. And since cambium is absent, the vascular bundle is called closed. When cambium is present, the vascular bundle is called open. So that is also applicable to monocot stem. Then phloem parenchyma is absent. Generally in monocot, the phloem parenchyma will be absent. The phloem parenchyma is present in dicot stem. So that means all the four choices were applicable for monocot stem. Okay. Now the second question from anatomy. Identify the incorrect statement. Incorrect statement. That means three of them will be right and one will be wrong. We have to find out the wrong statement. Sapwood is the innermost secondary xylem and is lighter in color. So here you can see that in the case of an adult plant, the primary tissues are replaced by secondary tissues. Wood means xylem. Wood means xylem. So the wood is differentiated into heartwood and sapwood. So suppose this is a xylem. The centrally located area is called heartwood. The peripherally located area is called sapwood. Sapwood. The heartwood is otherwise called duramen. The sapwood is otherwise called alburnum. The heartwood is dead and thick and dark in color. That provides mechanical support. The heartwood dead. It is not conducting any water or minerals. The water and minerals are conducted by what? The sapwood. They are light in color, live also. So sapwood is the innermost secondary xylem. That is wrong. Sapwood is the outermost one. So that is the answer. Okay, we have to find out the incorrect statement. Now we can see the other statement. Due to deposition of tannin, resin, oil, etc., heartwood is darker. It is said the heartwood, the centrally located heartwood is darker one. That is the right statement. Heartwood does not conduct water because they are dead. It does not conduct water but gives mechanical support. That is also a right statement. Sapwood is involved in conduction of water and minerals from root to leaf. Sapwood is a live tissue, light tissue, peripheral tissue and conducting water and minerals. So that is the right statement. So here second is right, third is right and fourth is right. The only wrong choice is first one. Okay. In structural organization animals, 3 questions were there in 2020. The first question, the cuboidal epithelium with the brush border of microvilli is found in. So what is microvilli? Suppose this is a cuboidal epithelium. The cube-like cells are there and the free surface is having microvilli. The free surface is having microvilli. It is a cuboidal epithelium, cube-like cells. When columnar cells are also having microvilli, the condition will be like this. This is columnar cells. This is cuboidal cells. The question is cuboidal epithelium, cube-like cells with the brush border of microvilli that is present in PCT. Proximal convoluted tubule. The microvilli are increasing the absorptive surface area. Here also the condition is same. But the columnar cells with the microvilli are present in intestine. Microvilli is present in both intestine as well as in brush border, the PCT. But in PCT, the cuboidal epithelium is there. In intestine, the columnar cells are there. Okay. So answer is proximal convoluted tubule of nephron. Proximal convoluted tubule is otherwise called PCT. In the case of eustachian tube, the ducts of salivary gland columnar epithelium is present, but they are not brush bordered. The brush bordered condition with the microvilli is present only in the case of PCT. Okay. Now this is the second question from structural organization in animals. The goblet cells of alimentary canal are modified. Goblet cells are mucus producing. They are mucus producing unicellular glands. Unicellular glands, they are modified columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium. Actually, this is a columnar epithelium, elongated pillar-like cells, and these are modified producing some mucus. It's a columnar cell. And this mucus is used as a lubricating agent. Okay, and they are present throughout the alimentary canal, on the inner surface of alimentary canal. These type of columnar cells are producing mucus, and the mucus will be lubricating the passage of food material. So goblet cells are not chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are cartilage cells. Then compound epithelium, no, multi-layered condition is called compound epithelium. They are not squamous. Squamous cells are flat. Then they are actually columnar cells. The goblet cells of alimentary canal are columnar. Whenever it is alimentary canal, all the cells will be columnar only. Now, the last question from the structural organization animals from cockroach. If the head of cockroach is removed, it may live for a few days because. So, it's a direct question from textbook. The head holds a small proportion of a nervous system while the rest is situated along the ventral part of the body. That is a right statement. So, in the case of cockroach, we can see that the head is the head region. This is the thoracic region, and this will be the abdominal region. Okay. Only the nerve ring and the supraesophageal and subesophageal ganglia will be there inside the head region. Then two nerve cords with their ganglia and their branches, everything is present inside the thoracic region and abdominal region. Okay, that means a small portion is present inside the head, a longer portion is present inside the thorax and abdomen. So even though the head is removed, they can control their activities for some more periods. So the right answer is the head holds a small proportion of nervous system while the rest is situated along the ventral part of its body. Okay. We can see the second choice. The head holds 1/3 of the nervous system while the rest is situated along the dorsal part of the body. It is not dorsal. The case of all invertebrates, this is the dorsal side and this is the ventral side. The nerve cord is always ventral. Then the supraesophageal ganglia of the cockroach are situated in ventral part of the abdomen. Actually, this is supraesophageal ganglion. Suppose this is the head region. This is the esophagus. Okay, so two ganglia are present just above the esophagus. So they are called supraesophageal. One is situated below. It is called subesophageal. So these are connected by connectives. Okay, circumpharyngeal nerve ring. So supraesophageal ganglia and subesophageal ganglia, the nerve cord is developing from subesophageal ganglia. And actually all these are present inside the head, not inside the abdomen. So also wrong. The cockroach does not have nervous system. That also wrong. So the first choice is right. The head holds a small proportion of nervous system while the rest is situated along the ventral part of the body. Even though the head is removed, it can live for some more time. So these were the 8 questions from the second unit. The second unit consists of 8 questions. Morphology of flowering plants, anatomy of flowering plants, and structural organization. The next video we can see the questions from the third unit. Okay, thank you.